there's contact. There's contact. And there's contact between Cheryl Paul and Campbell Pilling.
Hello and welcome to the final round of the 2023 Daniel Ricciardo Series here at Whilton Mill. We're just under 20 miles away from Silverstone, and plenty of these drivers will be dreaming of racing there in the future. Today, championships to be decided, race wins up for grabs, and that means that some of these drivers are going to be taking some big steps towards making those Silverstone dreams a reality. Meanwhile, after that, we go up Manuel's bank, and it is a much bigger bank than what you see on the TV screens. It does not provide you with any kind of justice until you arrive at the track. Then, of course, you've got Christmas Corner, which is probably the best overtaking spot on the circuit. Then you sweep left into Inkerman's 90-degree right-hander, and then down to the hairpin at Ashby, where again Matt Daniels has himself a difficult job of policing things at the exit of the corner, particularly because there's not really any kind of curb there, so there's even more incentive for drivers to flirt with the out-of-bounds area, shall we say. Then, of course, we go into the infield. We've got Wilkins, and then we go into Osiers. There's a little right-hander out of Osiers that takes us onto the back straight as we see a spinner right out of the pits on the stream. And then through the back straight, we go into the boot. Left-hander, right-hander. It's kind of a double right-hander, but the way it straightens out at the exit, it's very gentle, the second right-hander. And then into pit bend. We were talking about that earlier, of course. The curb on the inside is massive. You do not want to hit it. And there's also a big rumble strip on the exit. If you do go over the white line there, you don't want to be messing around in that particular corner. One of the points of the drivers' meeting, as we just see the initial times coming from, Kurt Baudry to the top for the moment with 45.884, now beaten by Oscar Walmsley-Jones on 45.679. Still, we've just seen him now, so it's Henry Foote actually just going out onto the track. Sam Faulkner, Ethan Critchley and Oliver Owen also just making their way out onto the track a little bit before Henry Foote. One of the big talking points of the drivers' meeting was that overtaking into that final corner is ill-advised. Usually it ends up with somebody in the hedge. So 5.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session, and still waiting for the lap times to come through from the headline runners. And among the headline runners, we've absolutely got to give a shout out, of course, to Ethan Critchley. His dad, Jason, just swimming the channel, the big rugby swim happening today. There is Sam Faulkner on the top of the timesheets now, 44.875. He's 4 tenths faster than Oliver Owen and 8 tenths faster than our previous pole sitter, Oscar Walmsley-Jones. But for Ethan Critchley, for Jason Critchley, Ethan Critchley's dad, he is part of that big rugby swim. Former rugby players, several of them, swimming the channel today for the Head for Change Foundation. Absolutely fantastic cause, and we wish them all well on their efforts today. Ethan Critchley, meanwhile, not quite on the headline pace at the moment. Down in 5th on a 45.790. There he goes. He pops up into 3rd with a 45.2, as it looks like there's a problem there. That's not Sam Faulkner. We saw a driver stopped just before Christmas Corner, and still stopped they are, and that's going to produce the yellows, and that's going to stop drivers, you would think, from improving their lap times. We're just trying to see who that is. It appears to be and is Thomas Dackins in 335. That looks like a kart that is not going anywhere in a hurry, although almost there. An effort to get restarted. You would imagine that there is going to be some assistance provided. They need to, let's say they need to roll back down the hill first. I'm not sure that's the most well-advised thing to do. And Thomas Dackins is now out of the kart. Don't let it roll back. At least get it on the grass first. And that is what we do safely. 3 minutes to go then. I imagine the yellow's still out, as you would expect. Just trying to have a look over there at Masters Post 3 to see when they may be withdrawn, because until it is, you might not see much improvement in the lap times. Looks like it's being withdrawn. Certainly we can't. It's hard to see from our angle. So as we turn our attention, so even Critchley has improved. There we go. He is up to second on a 45.055. And Sam Faulkner. Now, so we're seeing a bit of a jug on the lap times there, just for a moment. I think there's a bit of a glitch in the timing. But we are now back to normal. Just a split second there, we saw Faulkner's 44.812 disappear. In fact, Faulkner's 44.812 so good it seems that he is off the racetrack with 2 minutes plus change to spare. Henry Foote now up to second on a 44.925, so Faulkner may be happy with his work, but it's certainly nothing that is necessarily unbeatable. The remaining minute and 40 will complete the story on that one. So it's Faulkner 44.812, Foote 44.925, just over a tenth. Ethan Critchley third with 45.055. They're pretty much all separated by a tenth in the top four, as Oliver Owen rounded out with a 45.142. So we've got the difference of the 3.5 tenths. The difference between the top three, and then just a slight gap down to fourth. Trying to check it. We've actually got we've got different lap times showing on the timing screens as opposed to what we have on the actual screen on the stream. So what you've got, if you're watching at home, the lap times you'll see are incorrect. The correct ones: Faulkner 45.5, Critchley 45.730. So the gap between them just over 2 tenths, 2.25 as a matter of fact. Then it's Oliver Owen in third on a 46.064. 45.864 is the best time for Owen. Our apologies, we've had the last time first. And then it's Foote on a 45.893. What does confuse us on that one is that the top four, their last laps, 3 of them, were their fastest. So now we see why Faulkner pulled into the pit happy with his work, because a 45.5, certainly you would imagine, is unbeatable, and it doesn't appear as if there is anybody else out there to beat it. We now have the checkered flag. And that will conclude our qualifying session. So we're being told actually that it may be the stream that is correct after all. Regardless of what is correct, it is Sam Faulkner that is on pole position. That much we do know. We will get the rest clarified for you as and when we get the chance. But it will be Sam Faulkner that will lead the field down to the start of the opening DRS125 heat of the day. Time for our DRS125 heat, and it is safe to say that if these drivers could produce half the action they did at GYG, this should be an absolute thriller. Sam Faulkner, of course, we've been talking championship throughout proceedings this afternoon, as we've got one driver still yet to come out of the away from the dummy grid, we should say. That is Oliver Owen. He is now out on track safely, but worth noting, of course, Sam Faulkner already having the championship wrapped up in DRS125, the dominant force in the category, very much a veteran and the marker to beat at any Daniel Ricciardo Series race weekend. Not to say that he can't be beaten, and we've seen some wins for Ethan Critchley. We've also seen some very good results for the likes of Oliver Owen and Henry Foote throughout the course of the season. Foote, of course, actually moving up from DRS 100 and acquitting himself exceptionally well. Oliver Owen here has himself a very, very tricky time of getting up to the grid for the start. One suspects that he'll struggle just to get to the back of the grid in time, let alone make it into his grid position. He's just going through Ashby now. Meanwhile, the pack are slowing it down and just heading towards the boot. Here comes Owen, just catching them up. It would be quite forceful, you think, to try and take your position, but he's going to try. And they are seemingly going to be kind to him. Well, the big relief, as you may already have noticed, for Oliver Owen is that they're going to go round again. So that will remove any discussion about where Oliver Owen will start. And so Sam Faulkner will have to bring them round again. So they're going towards the infield, and we should now not be too far away from a start. Once again, Faulkner will slow them down significantly along the back straight. Owen, of course, back in 8th. Actually demoted 4 places. That presumably would have been 4 track limits in qualifying. That was the rule in the driver's briefing, that it was going to be 4 places or a deletion of your best lap time. It may well be that that deletion was worth 4 places. Either way, we are ready for a start, and Faulkner will lead them down. We're looking good. We are good. Here we go. Side by side they go into oblivion, and now through Crooked. Very hard for us to tell from the TV screen in front of us, such is the glare of the sun, but Faulkner is in the lead going up the hill, and the move being made for second place. Looks as if there it was Foote that actually managed to retain that position on the inside, and here they go, still side by side. Bit of a move there, run wide and contact for second place. And that's gonna, that could lead to a retirement potentially. That's a contact there then between Henry Foote and Ethan Critchley, and It appears as if it's 336. It's Foot that's come off the worst of it as Critchley comes over the line in second. And that was just a big dive being made to the inside of Ashby. And then the crisscross move on the exit resulting in contact. What it has done to the race as a whole is it's given Sam Faulkner a pretty big lead out in front, and Ethan Critchley has himself in a pretty good position as far as second place goes. He's comfortably ahead now of Oscar Walmsley-Jones, who is at the head of a huge queue in the fight for third. So we're just trying to see that move. We're seeing it from the back angle. So it was the move from 336, flouting the curb and then contact. And we see it now. We're going to see it again from the top of the hill, the camera position that we have up at Christmas. And then we cut away and back to the live feed. But it looked as if, again, hard to tell just from the screen we have and the way we have it with the sun being as strong as it is today, what it looked like, it was Foot making the big dive on Critchley and then trying to do the up and under was Critchley, and there was contact as they cut round the corner and on the exit. We may have had that the wrong way around though, it may have been vice versa on that. Either way, it is Oliver Owen that is now up into third place, and he has a 4/10 gap as they come up the hill to Oscar Walmsley-Jones there, 333. And the main battle now is going to be for fifth place. It's a fight between four drivers, and it looks like that's Tom Snape, it appears, trying to make the move going into Ashby. Not happening there. And through they come back down the back straight. Faulkner looks as if he's increasing his lead. Ethan Critchley, it appears, is growing more and more vulnerable to Owen behind. And Walmsley-Jones keeping in touch there. Snape looks like he's the one that's closest to a move in the fight for sixth between he and Tommy Welsh. And they're looking for a move into Christmas, but the door's shut. Numerous track limit warnings we're seeing on our screens right now. Daniel Weir, I believe it was Walmsley-Jones that showed up just a moment ago. It was indeed. As once again they come down the back straight. As they were, looks like the gap in the battle for fifth has kind of even out between the four drivers that are contesting it. Faulkner continuing to pull away. His gap over Ethan Critchley now at 1.8 seconds. As Owen continues to close in, the gap there for second and third is 6/10. Closest battle continues to be for sixth place, although actually on the last one they crossed the line, as there's a move being made there by Snape, and the door once again shut, that time into the boot. Snape continues to stalk Welsh. Meanwhile, further back in the field, there's a move actually made there by Thomas Dackins in 10th place. He had real problems in qualifying before, stopping out on circuit. But getting ahead of Mark Lawrence for 10th place. Of course, Dackins is our lone novice in this field. And the gap now for Faulkner is 2 seconds. As here comes a move, and Oliver Owen really catching up to Ethan Critchley on that lap. The gap was 4/10 over the line, and this time it's probably still about 4/10, but the whole reason is because Owen was that close and really losing the time by making that move going into the boot. And someone off there, just at the exit of Crook, Is that Oliver Owen? Trying to see, it is indeed number 1. We were trying to spot if it was number 1. It's a part of the track that we can't see with the naked eye. And Oliver Owen, just as he was in the fight for second place, stopped. And so now the big fight is the third, and that's that multi-kart fight that is now being led by Walmsley Jones. And behind him, it's Weir, it's Snape, and then Welsh. So really now top 2 are clear. Sam Faulkner's got himself a track limit warning. Critchley is also popping up with one on our screen. You're comfortable, boys. Just keep it between the white lines and you're fine. You've got this sewn up. But if you're in the battle for third place, you still want to try and stick between the white lines, but you've certainly got more reasons to try and take liberties. No move looking there, but it is now firmly a 4-driver battle. And over the line they go. It's still Walmsley Jones leading Weir, leading Snape, leading Welsh. Just a 10th, and now a move. Here we go. Weir has made it and made it stick. And actually, Walmsley Jones has not only lost out to Weir, he's lost out to Tom Snake too. And now here comes Welsh, and it might have been a bit of contact down there at Ashby. And that's horrendous there for Oscar Walmsley Jones, who not only loses all those positions, but gets himself a penalty as well. And there is that Critchley. Critchley slowing down. They're all dropping out towards the front, except from Sam Faulkner. And now the big battle is for second place. So Critchley stopped on the back straight. We continue to watch the fight for second on the TV screens. Snape is all over the back of Weir and making the move on the exit towards the outside. Can he make it stick? No, he couldn't make it stick on the next left-hander, and now he's losing position, so there could be contact there. As Oscar Walmsley Jones looks like he's trying to bring himself back into the battle, and now it's a 5-way fight for second. And it's number 8, Welsh, back on top. So here we go. Snake tried to make the move around the outside. In reality, it was probably just too ambitious, and you actually give Dan Weir some credit there. He left some room for Tom Snake there. It was all Snape's making that he went off the track. Fight continuing for second. There's a little bit of a buffer there for Welsh, but behind Weir, you couldn't put a sheet of paper between them. Here they come onto the back straight. Looked as if there Weir wanted to and does protect his position. I thought he might try and hook the inside, but he's able to take his racing line, and they spread out a little bit, actually going through the boot. And we are now on to our last lap. Sam Faulkner leads by 8.5 seconds. Even by his standards, that's unheard of. And the big fight continues for second place. And going into Ashby, it's still Welsh that has it, but Weir is right with, looks like Snape has made a move on Oscar Walmsley Jones, and into fourth he goes, and onto the back stretch and back into our view they come, as Faulkner takes the flag. It's going to be Welsh second, it's going to be Weir third, it's going to be Snape fourth. What a race that was for what should have been fourth, but was then for third, and then finally for second. And it's Tommy Welsh with what is really the moral victory. You could almost forget that Sam Faulkner was in that race. Such was his dominance. The final margin of victory, 9.2 seconds, good as 9.3 in reality. And then that big fight in the end for second goes the way of Tommy Welsh. Daniel Weir in third, Tom Snake fourth, Kurt Bardry in fifth, and Oscar Walmsley Jones in sixth. And Walmsley Jones actually lost 2 places there going towards the last lap. And the gap between those 5, it looked about 1.5 seconds, according to what we can make out on the timing screens. What a race that was. As dominant a victory as you'll see by Daniel Ricciardo Series standards, but behind an absolute thriller throughout. We said if it was half as good as what we saw at GYG, it was going to be quite something, and that is exactly what it was. Fantastic stuff in the 125 heat race. And next up, it is the 100s. Ratford versus Robinson for the title. Race 1, they share the front row.
Once you've got them on the trolleys, you put your plugs out, please. What's that,
Time for our 125 pre-final now, and all the story really in the heat race was mechanical gremlins. Faulkner ended up winning that race by some 9.2 seconds after problems for Oliver Owen first of all, and then Ethan Critchley, both of them breaking down. Owen running 3rd at the time, and then Critchley falling foul of those gremlins while running in 2nd place. And that meant that Sam Faulkner had it all his own way up front. But behind, it was a real scrap for 2nd place. Some 5 drivers involved in it. And the end result was that Tommy Welsh was 2nd ahead of Daniel Weir. And Kurt Forger in the end moving up to 4th. There were a few penalties actually coming out of that one. Tom Snake was among that, but penalised. And Oscar Walmsley-Jones was among them too, but also penalised. It's perhaps not a surprise, a lot of elbows out in that particular battle. I think certainly that those marshals out on the circuit going to be hoping for less to do in this one. So they look pretty good in terms of coming round for a start. Doesn't look like they're too quick. The request is simply spread yourselves out so you can be in your tram lines. And Sam Faulkner now will bring them down. This looks good. We're going to get a start. Very close quarters going through Oblivion towards the back of the field, but Faulkner gets away well up the hill. Big move going towards the back of the field. Tom Snake there having to protect his position going into a Christmas corner. As Faulkner now is ahead. And it looks like Tommy Welsh for now is slotted into 2nd place. And they come through the boot for the first time. And Faulkner taking advantage of an unexpected name being behind him as we come across the start-finish line. It is 7/10 between them. Ethan Critchley with a fantastic start is already up to 4th place. And he's making the move now for 3rd. Looking to get ahead of Dan Weir, and he does. Welsh will hold 2nd for now. And the aim really for Critchley here is going to be make the move as soon as you can into 2nd and see if you've got anything for Sam Faulkner. If you don't, hold on to your tyres, because the 125s, this tends to be the category where the tyre wear makes the most difference. 2nd time by, and Faulkner's lead is now 1.1 seconds. And Critchley is in striking distance as we come out of Crook. And the pass for second place should be a routine one. There was almost, however, a little bit of trouble for Tommy Welsh as he almost had the back end come around. Big move being made into Ashby there towards the middle of the pack. And actually here, Welsh is at risk of losing several places. That's Oliver Owen already right up to the back of him from the back of the field. Didn't bail out of the move, but they got through the corner safely. Owen now really just setting himself up for the run up the hill. Faulkner's lead over Critchley is already 1.5 seconds. Snake trying to make the move early going up the hill. Naturally, Oliver Owen doesn't get the run up there. Looks like Tommy Welsh keeps hold of third place for now. They come down the hill in towards Ashby there and through, and a good exit there for Owen. He might have a look down the inside of the left-hander, but doesn't. Will set himself up instead for the exit of Osiers. And Welsh there protects the position. Oh, move now to the inside of the final corner. And Oliver Owen has made it stick, and it's cost Welsh the position to Daniel Weir too. And it's also going to cost him further momentum up the hill. We should see Henry Foote in the picture trying to make a move here. And there he goes. And next up to pass Tommy Welsh is Tom Snake. Looks like Critchley has enough in him to hold Sam Faulkner, but any more than that we will have to wait and see, as we now have 5.5 minutes to go. So the two that broke down in the heat race are back where they were before they broke down. And here comes a move now, all sorts of out of shape there for Henry Foote. And he doesn't end up holding it there through Christmas corner. We've got a track limit warning for Sam Faulkner. And interestingly, Critchley on the last lap, 3/10 faster than Faulkner. And it looks like it's a little bit less at this point. And while the main battle on the circuit is for 4th place, there's certainly no question that, well, Critchley's closing in big time. It's now 0.8 of a second, and with 4 minutes to go, Sam Faulkner needs to respond. Further back, here's the move that's Owen spun around. We've been waiting for that sort of thing to happen for a bit. It was Tommy Welsh that time that got himself spun around, it appears. Yes, that's Snape, and then is that... No, that's Welsh to the outside. That's Kurt Fodry that's tried to make the move, and he's gotten himself spun around. Our apologies. And as they come round to complete this lap, it looks like less than 0.8 between the two leaders. It is, but it's not that much less. It's nearly 0.7. Oliver Owen, meanwhile, 3 seconds off the leading duo. Henry Foote, meanwhile, has picked himself up a penalty. And so he runs in 4th place at the moment. He's trying to reel in Oliver Owen, but of course, if that's a track limits, that penalty, that means he's going to lose 4 places. It's Tom Snake that's closest to making a move at the moment. He is trailing Daniel Weir, and that battle is for 6th place. Critchley is still closing in on Faulkner. It's a 10 between them on that lap as Tom Snake looks to make the move here on Dan Weir. Now Critchley has gained a lot of time on this lap. He's right behind Sam Faulkner now. And now you'd be surprised if this is Faulkner's tyres already showing wear. You suspect it's more Ethan Critchley going gung-ho and potentially hurting his chances in the grand final. They cross the line and it's a quarter of a second, 2.5 tenths. Even Stevens up the hill. He's close, but not close enough for a move. But with just under 2 minutes to go, he's got the time to set it up, and he might go for it into here. No, not quite Faulkner. They both took a lot of curb there, really, going through Inkermans there. And now through the infield. And Faulkner gets a pretty good exit out of Oshers. That big curb out of Oshers is giving a lot of drivers a lot of problems. It's setting up passes into the boot. Faulkner's resistance is firm so far. 1 minute and 20 to go. This may well be... Oh, here we go. Move. Critchley for the lead. And Sam Faulkner doesn't put up too much of a fight. Whether that's because he knows he can get him back or because he just doesn't have... Well, it could be that. It could be that he wants to try and save the tyre for the grand final, of course. That's really got to be the question here. Was Critchley going for broke? If he is, then it'll do the business here, that's for sure. 50 seconds to go. Now, it's going to be very close. As well, they take 10 seconds off, so this should be the penultimate lap, but we'll keep an eye on the timing screens. It looks like Critchley has the legs on him, Faulkner not in position, and a big move for third. Big move for third there as Henry Foote has got past Oliver Owen, and we didn't see it on the screen, but from the naked eye, it looked like he made that move from a mile away. It just looked as if Oliver Owen didn't get the run up the hill. He's got a good run coming out of Oshers. Big slide there from Henry Foote. Faulkner's back on Critchley though. We're showing last lap now. We're showing last lap on the screen. And Faulkner is very close to Ethan Critchley, but he doesn't have the run up the hill. And the fight for third sees Henry Foote protect the place from Oliver Owen. And Tom Snape doing likewise against Dan Weir. And now the move for third. And Foote held the inside, but it's allowed Owen to get ahead on the exit there of Ashby. Critchley looks like he has it won if he just holds it through the final corners. And Snape, oh, someone dropped back. That's a 3-2-9, Daniel Weir. So here we go. Critchley wins. And it's Oliver Owen in third. And then it's Snape before. What has happened to Henry Foote? Henry Foote crossed the line in sixth. So clearly a problem on the last lap. That must have been a result of that move that happened back at Ashby. And so he tumbles down the order as a result. But that, once again, I mean, that threatened to be a less eventful race simply because of the big lead that Sam Faulkner had early on, with the likes of Critchley and Owen coming back through the field. It really gave Faulkner a bit of a march on the field. But in the end, it made no difference because Ethan Critchley stormed through, overtook Sam Faulkner, and Faulkner for once had no response. And it's Ethan Critchley on the day that his dad swims the channel who takes the win here in the DRS125 pre-final. It's Oliver Owen who reclaims the podium position that he lost in the heat in third. And then Tom Snape in the end getting into fourth ahead of Dan Weir after Henry Foote's problems on the final lap. So that in the end, what looked like we might be heading for a bit of an anticlimax. Nothing of the sort as Ethan Critchley went and hunted down Sam Faulkner and got him. Next up, should be an absolute thriller. We're going to head over to the 100s once again, where, of course, now Charlie Ratford has taken the championship lead. It's actually a 4-point lead as it stands over Jack Robinson, but we'll bring you up to speed with what's happened there throughout the course, right before we build up to that 100 pre-final. But for now, we're going to take a couple minutes break. Barely time to catch our breath and take notes following that thrilling finale to the 62s. And now time for our 125 to take centre stage for the final time this season. And it was a fantastic rally from Ethan Critchley to beat Sam Faulkner in the pre-final. The question will be, did Critchley use too much tyre in going for that win? If he didn't, we could be in for a thriller in this one too. They go around one more time. That's pretty standard. Been a couple of times, usually with the 62, where they tried to take the start first time round. And so now we get into formation and almost ready to go as we come along the back straight. So it'll be Faulkner, Critchley, then Tommy Welsh and Daniel Weir on the front two rows. Oliver Owen once again will be a bit further back in the pack as a result of him having broken down in the heat race. And here we come, looking for a start. They come round pretty disciplined, and we do indeed get the start we expected. And a bit of a gaggle there. Boxed in there was Tommy Welsh, but they all get through safely. And, well, you see the effect of Welsh being boxed in there. He loses out to a number of drivers. It's Snape that takes third, and then Oliver Owen up to fourth. That's a big start. So he was back in the fourth row there, was Oliver Owen. Critchley there closing right up to Sam Faulkner as we came through the exit of Wilkins there, and on they come to the back straight for the first time. Pretty much line astern, but Tom Snape ran a little bit wide through the first part of the boot there. And that is why Oliver Owen is as close as he is. You halfway suspect that he is going to be in good position to make the move, as too is Ethan Critchley on Sam Faulkner. But neither of them do so in the end. There's 11 minutes to go in this race, and I think some of these wiser heads perhaps deciding that they'll just wait, play the percentage game, try and keep their tyres intact. They know that's going to be a big factor the more this race progresses. These grand finals in the 125s are often about letting the race come to you. Faulkner extends his lead to 3/10 going over the line. As we go up the hill once again, nobody really close enough for a move, although there is someone on for fifth place there. Tommy Welsh battling Henry Foot. And it looks like Foot has gotten the position there. You can see the single-plated driver is behind. Is that a move? Yes, Ollie Owen, an unusual pass there, going into Wilkins, but he's made it stick, and he's taken third place there as Oliver Owen, overtaking Tom Snape. Faulkner, meanwhile, has pulled ahead slightly. Looks like possibly 4 or 5 tenths. Half a second is the gap. And so now, with Oliver Owen having made that move, you suspect the race will just settle down for a lap or two, as we wait more and more for the tyre wear to take its effect. There's a collision up at Christmas Corner towards the back of the field. Just trying to see who was involved in that. There's 2 triple plates, and it might well be Jake Woodrow and Tuscany Groves back there. Faulkner continuing to pull away from Critchley. Oliver Owen is now in position to make a move, so we had that lap to quiet down, and now Owen, he's not quite close enough this time to make an impression on Ethan Critchley. And the more Faulkner pulls away, the more you suspect that Critchley's rally in the pre-final was a heroic one that would bring negative effects in the long term. Me personally, a win is a win. I'd much rather take the win in the race I know I can win and suffer the consequences after. And here come those consequences. Oliver Owen with a nice move for second through the boot, setting it up, and into pit bend he makes it stick. And now it's Tom Snape looking to make that move up the hill, although Critchley's back in striking position in that fight for second. It's good news for Sam Faulkner, more good news for Sam Faulkner. Oh, off the circuit, running off there was so Snape is up to third, so it's Critchley that went off. Little mistake there going through Inkermans, and that's down to 4th place and potentially 5th now, as Henry Foote is going to pressure him. Not quite in position to make a move. Going into the boot there. Gap for the leaders, meanwhile, stays at 8 tenths. It's not exactly out of the question that Oliver Owen might have something for Sam Faulkner here. Same too for Sam Snape. They're making good progress. Hard to tell if the gap has come down at all. If anything, it might be slightly closer, but no more than a half a tenth perhaps. Snape actually might be the quickest. He's all over the back now of Oliver Owen in that fight for second. Ethan Critchley is pulling into the pits. Ethan Critchley is giving up the ghost. So maybe not just a tyre issue there, but also a technical one that has taken him out of the fight for victory. I'm sure he would say that the big rally in the pre-final was worth it for him. If I were him, I would agree. But now out of the grand final, that will let Tommy Welsh up in the 5th place, as he is in a good battle. Dan Weir, Kurt Baldry, Oscar Walmsley-Jones in contention for that 5th place now. So, Faulkner versus Owen, what's the gap? It is 9 tenths. So on the previous lap, 2 laps ago from this one, Faulkner pulled out a couple of tenths on Owen. And that time, Owen putting back a half a tenth. Sam Faulkner gets a track limit warning. Still 5.5 minutes to go, of course, these grand finals. There's still plenty of time for that crucial tyre wear issue to kick in and become more and more of a factor. But you have to say he's looking good overall, is Sam Faulkner. Maybe losing a tenth or 2 on this lap. Let's see as they come over the line. He has indeed lost a tenth and a half. It's 0.76 now. And Tom Snape is probably the closest, really, to making the pass, but he's not quite in striking distance. If anything on this lap, he's maybe just dropping back a little bit from Oliver Owen. Battle for 5th place now beginning to hot up, and there might be a move actually there going into Wilkins. That's Tommy Welsh fending off Dan Weir, who thought about it. Now even Stevens coming out of Ogiers. Oliver Owen pulls up just under a tenth on Sam Faulkner. Just under 7 tenths now is the gap. Still 4 minutes to go, still plenty of time for things to happen. This, if anything, may be the calm before the storm, although it's certainly not calm in the fight for 5th place, as Tommy Welsh continues to hold up Dan Weir and Kurt Fordry. Oscar Walmsley-Jones has also had a problem. He was right on the tail of that battle earlier on, but now some 3 laps back, so clearly off the circuit. And like Ethan Critchley, his season seemingly over. Oliver Owen continuing to pull another 10th as here comes the move from Weir. It's defended well by Welsh on the outside, and it looks like he just about has the legs to protect it into Ashby. Faulkner versus Owen now. The gap, Owen just keeps taking a 10th a lap, a 10th a lap, a 10th a lap. I'd say it's maybe slightly over a 10th on this lap. Through the final quarter, Faulkner comes. And it is more than a 10th. It's just below 4 tenths now. And with 2.5 minutes just over to go, you've got to say Sam Faulkner is holding on. You think he's right on the cusp of whether or not he will hold on, but it's Oliver Owen that appears to have the tyre right now. And he's bringing Tommy Snake with him as well, let's not forget that. Down they come into the elbow once again. And through they come. And the gap now, a half a 10th. Mechanical flag, Sam Faulkner. Sam Faulkner in trouble. Going fine on the track still, but they're clearly they're seeing something that they're not happy with on Sam Faulkner's kart. And we're just trying to see what it is. So we look at the TV feed, they come through with Ogiers now. We could really do, probably with some sort of close-up shot. I'm not sure if we have anything like that available. It looks, there's the problem. The number plate on the front is completely falling off. The seat, it is cosmetic damage, but if that falls off, it's a big problem. And he's given it up. He's conceded that he can't go on. Sam Faulkner bows out of the fight for the lead. And now it's all about Tom Snape. Can he pressure Oliver Owen? He was starting to drop back. The gap on the last lap was half a second, and that's a real shame actually for this race that Sam Faulkner has encountered that problem, because the question of whether or not he was going to hold on has been decided for him in many ways. But with that said, take absolutely no credit away from Oliver Owen. Running 3rd in the heat when he broke down, he came cruising through in the pre-final. And you'd have to say that this little bit of luck that's gone his way is his just reward. Who knows? Maybe he'd have caught and passed Faulkner anyway. But even though he hasn't had the chance to do that, you'd have to say the luck is absolutely richly deserved. So the clock is at 0. And this is the penultimate lap, so they're starting the last lap once they come around the final corner now. And the gap now is 3/4 of a second for Oliver Owen, so he's gradually pulled away from Tom Snape. And Henry Foote is not in touch. The biggest battle is for 4th place, and that's what we're watching right now between Tommy Welsh and Dan Weir. They've been going at it the whole race. Welsh protects it, going through the Christmas corner and round Ashby. And into the infield they go as Owen is into the boot. And here comes Oliver Owen to win the final DRS125 race of this season. Tom Snape in third. Tom Snape in second, Henry Foote in third. And holding on to fourth by the narrowest of margins. 0.07 in the end is the gap between Tommy Welsh and Dan Weir in that battle for 4th place. Got Fordry in 6th, Mark Lawrence in 7th, Tustin Groves in 8th, Jake Woodrow in 9th, Thomas Dackins, the leading, the sole novice in this race, I should say, Thomas Dackins, but he was running quite well in the early going, obviously ran into a slight problem that dropped him back. But you have to say, as we mentioned earlier, the look went Oliver Owen's way, but you'd be definitely having a hard time arguing that he didn't deserve it. Oliver Owen wins, Tom Snape second, and Henry Foote in third to round out our DRS 125 Grand Final. For the final time in 2023, after Sam Faulkner has problems with part of the bodywork effectively on the front of his kart, threatening to fall off, and he has to pull in, and that is how his season ends. But Oliver Owen, fantastic win for him, and we now turn our attention to the final race of the Daniel Ricciardo Series in 2023. It's our championship decider. It's Charlie Ratford versus Jack Robinson. 7 points in it. We'll give you the permutations in just a moment when they fire up. Welcome to our final podium presentation of the 2023 Daniel Ricciardo Series. It's been a last round that, of course, for the one bad situation that happened, and I fingers crossed everything works out well with that one, I think aside from that, it has certainly been a day that has lived up to all the billing. And now we will begin our podium presentation with our DRS62 Academy class. And we'll start with our 3rd place driver, Ruben Jenkins. And in 2nd place, and in 2nd place overall in the grand final, was Carter Inskip Clarkson. And our Academy winner, who I think it's safe to say really stole the show this weekend, Rory Hamilton. It's time for a shoey. A fantastic nod, of course, to the man himself, who we hope to see back racing very, very shortly indeed in Formula One. We are now, of course, going to go to our DRS62 Supers, and the third place driver was Lucas Esser. And in second place, as we just wait for the nod from our photographer here, our apologies. Second place, Harley Drake. And our DRS62 Super winner and our champion for the category is Ashton Redpath. Worth noting, of course, that our final presentations from a championship perspective are to take place at a future date, but certainly we do want to acknowledge those that have succeeded for their achievements today from a season-long perspective. So now we turn our attentions to the DRS125 podium, and our novice winner was Thomas Dackins. And in third place, Henry Foote. And in second place overall for the 125s was Tom Snape. And our winner had to do it the hard way before the luck fell his way in the grand final, Oliver Owen. Finally, we turn our attention to the DRS 100s. I think it's safe to say that our novice class victory was contested much more hotly than usual, and taking it was Benjamin Hamilton. Third place overall in the DRS 100s in the grand final was Jack Robinson. And playing spoiler in that grand final as far as the championship went, in second place was Sherry Ann Powell. And completing what I think is safe to say, the Grand Slam with the victory in the top of qualifying and the victory in all three of the races, Charlie Ratford. And so that concludes our podium presentation. Been absolutely fantastic. Andy, I think I've got to bring you in. You got any final words?
Oh, well, Sherry's in the way. No, just wanted to say thank you to everybody. Fantastic season. You know, we hardly ever have any incidents, and thankfully Archie's fine, a bit battered and bruised. But thank you to everybody. Different things happening next year rather than drive. Qualifying on a Saturday. 8 rounds. We're going to be visiting the North Rowra, which is coming back onto the calendar after a break. So it's all looking good. The guys will be live streaming next year. Hopefully you'll be here next year, Ben, and we'll see you all then. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it from you, Andy. Bigger and better things for the Daniel Ricciardo Series next year.